Esta es la historia de cómo conocí a tu padre. Era difícil vivir el momento en 2022. ¡Sí! Siempre había otro lugar donde estar, otra persona con la que estar.
Oh my gosh, honestly, great question. Yes, I am a mother of 3 and very much in a relationship and just trying to keep my head above water with a career and 3 kids that I schedule and have to keep alive. So this is actually refreshing to come to work and just open my eyes a little bit wider and be a little bit more optimistic and not so locked into like logistics of keeping my world and my family operating, you know? Sophie just doesn't have the kind of pressure I think that I do, and I love that. I mean, she has her own issues of just trying to find her footing, which I very much relate to. Even now, you know, I'm very much in progress and learning, but she just has this openness and this positivity, and she's dorky. I definitely relate to her on that front of the dork side, but like, you know, she's open and warm and not afraid to fall on her face, and I just love her. It's great to come to work every day and have it be a little simpler. Oh my gosh. First of all, an honor to have her join our cast. I really feel like it elevated our show, and you know, I don't know, she's an icon, and just to hear that she said yes to play, you know, future Sophie, it was really a cool moment. We all didn't need to be on set that day, and most of us showed up. You know, to just be in her airspace was very cool. And then, you know, being a producer on the show, I think since, you know, I got that very lucky phone call from day one, I knew I wanted to be involved on a deeper level than just acting. I've been on so many TV shows for so many, you know, years in a row that I felt like it was time for me to have a little bit more creative say and be a part of that that community of people that are like leading us. And everyone was like so lovely to have me, to support me and jumping on board in that way. And casting was a huge part of that. Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I think that honestly, being friends with Suraj has opened our eyes a lot, and I have never had the privilege of going to India, but I'm very intrigued to go. I'm very fascinated by the culture. It just seems like people do have wide open hearts, and there's a lot of acceptance, and people love to have a good time, and it's colorful, and there's food and partying and like celebrations. It seems like, you know, Indian culture really celebrates life, and I see that in just Suraj's showing up to work every day. He is the one dancing in the trailer, pumping us all up when it's like 6:30 in the morning, and he's always the glass half full when I'm not always that way, and it's really a breath of fresh air. And if that's a representation of the Indian culture and Indian people, then sign me up. I mean, there's so many differences. I don't even know if I can quickly tackle that. I think, you know, one of the things being our show is so diverse, and our show is showing a real representation of what how people act today, how people are just, I mean, it's taken a very long time, but it's just much more inclusive, you know, exploring different sexualities and different races. It's lovely to have a picture painted that's just much more realistic. But honestly, we don't even really think of it. I think we're trying to be thoughtful, but we just want to be authentic. And that is what is authentic. You know, one of my favorite things that Tien talks about, obviously playing a queer character on the show, is just that, like, we're not dealing with her coming out story. She is who she is, and she fits into our friend circle just like anybody else. And her experiences is that, you know, she's struggling with the fact that she's just gotten divorced and she's moving to a new place. Those are her struggles, because she is confident and loved and appreciated for who she is, and we're not having to tackle that topic. And I hope we just continue to move in that direction and explore all kinds of fun stories with different characters on the show, exploring God knows what, you know, because that is authentic to what life is right now, you know, and what we're talking about, and how people are acting, and how people are not exposing themselves but representing themselves, you know, is just much more accepted of I'm losing it because I'm hungry, but you know,
no,
people are able to be accepted and connect in a way of that I feel like they weren't 10 years ago or 20 years ago when I was first on TV, you know.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. I have a totally different outlook on that, or like an upbringing that's just so different than Sophie's, you know, because I think that I kind of had a more public life from a very young age, and I've always been in serious relationships, and haven't really been a serial dater like Sophie has. And not so eager to put myself out there the way Sophie has. So it is extremely refreshing to jump into that world of, like, just opening your heart and really believing that something is out there for you, that love is out there for you. And I think that unfortunately I was a lot more jaded because, you know, I did get divorced at a young age. I did have a child at a young age. I had to take that into consideration when moving forward into new relationships. But I mean, I dated, but I always kind of dated, and before I would throw myself into a relationship, I would know that it was going to be something bigger than just like something casual. And I think that's because I have like a son to consider, like a human being, you know, like that was always a little bit more challenging, and I didn't get to date in that lighthearted way that Sophie does. Even though it's not lighthearted to her at all, it's devastating for her. But when I look at it, I'm like, girl, just have some fun. David, I was absolutely terrified by the laugh track. And I think all of us, Chris included, who's nodding his head like a madman over there, was like, I can't deal with this laugh track. And then, you know, Isaac and Elizabeth and Pam really were like, the show calls for a laugh track. We are a sitcom, and sitcoms are coming back. It's crazy, and it's so fun to be able to do it on a network like Hulu, where we get to have a lot more fun and a lot more freedom to explore topics. But really, the format of the show is a sitcom. And I think that the laugh track that they use is very conscious and not over the top like some sitcoms. But it is needed, and it does help carry the show along at some points. But it was very scary at first, and I had to watch the first 2 episodes probably 3 times before I could get used to it. And now it doesn't bother me at all. And you know, none of us had done multicam before, so that was like a whole nother beast of trying to figure out our timing and like, oh, wait for a laugh, okay, and also we're all used to being on quiet sets where nobody makes a peep, and like we would do something funny and the cameraman would laugh And we would be like, did you just ruin the take? And then we're like, oh no, they're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Right? It's been a really fun adventure, and I think a learning curve for all of us. And that's been a cool thing for us to all show up, never having done multicam, never been on anything with a laugh track, and explore this together. It's just like leveled the playing field where we're all like learning something new, a new skill.
Es muy difícil conocer a alguien y conectar y que algo sea fácil.
Algún día tenemos que volver ahí fuera.
¿De hablar con ella?
¿Y qué le digo?
Creo que te voy a enamorar.
Mentirle, vamos.